So, going into game. First of all, this is the opening screen. Right. Now, first of all, the things you want to check out are the settings. All of this is on medium now for recording purposes, so I'll get a stable FPS. These are the settings. Right, you want to check out all these. If you're not going to spectate anyone at the moment, this one doesn't matter. I'll come back to that one later. Right. Basically, on the video settings, it's pretty self-explanatory. Your world detail is the environment, towers, trees, anything in the jungle, all the paths and lanes, etc. Anything that isn't your character. The texture detail is the gods and the minions. And the shadow detail is obviously the shadows. Like as this goes from low to high, it becomes a lot sharper, less like a random blob underneath the character. Right. Due to new patch, there's also Direct 11, which if you activate this, you get anti-aliasing. This can slow down your computer a lot, but the game looks amazing. So if your computer can run that stably, I would highly suggest that. Audio here, once again, this is all for recording, so I can train sort of the levels. This is all personal preference. This is where things start to become like, if you're colorblind, then these two, if you activate one or both of these, then you'll basically it sort of like melds the colours together, so colorblind people can see it properly. And when I say that, I mean the greens, I believe the reds and the greens are sort of faded into, like, I think the red goes into yellow and the green goes to blue. It's so that if you're colorblind, that's something you need to know. Right, the controls. This here is something that you need to get used to. Normal casting, I'll show you the casting types soon, and I'll show you all of these soon too. Like when we get into game, because these will make a lot more sense. But basically, normal casting is if you press an ability, which is 1, 2, 3, or 4 by default, there will be a target that comes up. As soon as you listen, when the target comes up, you need to left click in normal casting. So you'll press 1, then click. This is what it's set to do by default. Quick casting is something that I use. It's instead of having to click, it's whenever your button comes off of the ability. So if you press 1, you can see the targeting out. You can see the targeter, and when you release it, the ability will cast. Instant cast is something for, if you can get used to it, it's very good because it means you can be very, very, very quick. Instant cast is whenever you push the button down of your ability, it goes off straight away. There's no target or anything, it just goes off exactly where. So when you get to know your character well enough, that'll be very good for you to learn. But for now I stick to quick casting because I try different characters out and it's very difficult to try and get to the ranges and stuff, and I don't want to randomly cast abilities. Right. These are the main controls. Move forward, this is standard MOBA. W, A, S and D. Forward, back, left, right. Your abilities are 1, 2, 3, 4, and your actives, which are items that you buy, which you have to activate for them to be of use. You can buy items which are passive gains, like passive physical power, etc. Or you've got the actives which you can activate for a certain bonus, like no CC, can affect you, immune to damage for 2 seconds. So they're very good. If you've got an Xbox, then it's best to put them on the second binding. I don't, so I'm not really sure why they're there, unless I've plugged an Xbox in last time, or they're there by default. And the tradability ones, yeah, instead of having to press K, which is to open the ability screen, you can just press F1, 2, 3, or 4. If you press F1, F2, F3, or F4, it will train the ability corresponding to what it is down. F1 trains ability 1, etc. Right, as for spectator, if you want to, this is for if you're a caster, so if you're new to Smite, this is really unnecessary. Well, this just gives you all the stuff you need to like learn, which are the stuff you need to learn, the key bindings. This is like you can put this to team name A, B, C, 1, 2, whatever. That's a pro team or whatever. So you can just you can change them around a bit. Right, these four. I don't know if you can see it, but like you should be able to. These tabs here are important things to know. The first one is always a god that's new or a reworked god. So this will be the newest god. The second one will be anyone that gets a graphical update, or if there is no graphical update one, it'll be a feature or a skin. The third one is almost always a skin. This one will be something to do with the headline of the patch notes, which are posted on the Reddit. For example, the patch notes were based on Stargazer, so Stargazer is here. The fourth one won't be here for much longer, because it comes out of beta soon. But this just explains that if you get to level 30 during beta, you get this skin for free. You don't have to pay for it. No, you don't need any favour, gems, nothing. Just it's in your account. And this brings you on to the refer a friend part. The refer a friend part is basically, it tells you, if you click this, it takes you to a web page that tells you more about referring friends, your rewards, etc. So that's good to know. Right, now here, this is the latest features box, which is basically like a smaller version of patch notes in terms of skins, voice packs and god rotation. The match of the day today is obviously Battle of Olympus, so if you go to the play menu, then you will have, there will be the practice matches, which is where you can play a god to train. Jungle practice, where you can see how your character fares against certain mobs, camps, etc. Normal, which is player versus player. League, which is the ranked like version, which I'll go into to this tab here, which is soon. And custom is where you can make ones with your friends, just have a laugh, have a bit of a mess about. This button here is to go home. This is the home page. So no matter where you are, you can just click home and it comes back here. So this one here teaches you, brings you up to this part here, which is Smite TV, and it'll bring you up, the guides, etc. For the god, which is basically god reveals. This is where you can get Smite Game, Smite Pro, Smite Game France, Smite Community, Smite Game, I believe that's Russia. The video tutorials are there, community videos are there, and this is your friends. Now broadcasting, this is very buggy. If you want to try and broadcast your game, I would really recommend that you use OBS, which is a free download, because basically this is, well, it is good to get the EMEA skin. If you can prove that you've done 5,000 minutes without doing that, then they will give you it, even if it does take quite a while. I say this because this gives huge FPS drops, and I don't actually think anyone uses that due to it because of the new SDK. Right, back to the home page. The current god rotation this week is other gods here. If you hover over them, you can see the type, ranged, physical. So in the game, you can't, if you're physical, you can't buy magical items. Magical, you can't buy physical items. The roles are hunter, assassin, warrior, guardian, and mage. I'll go into them in more detail. Right, basically, this bit here is what you need to. These two you'll always start with, and if you ever go to the Twitch part, this will pop up. Right, so down here you've got your username. So if any of your friends want to join you in a game, this is the name you'll give them, which you can go to here. This is your friends list. This is any requests you get for your friends, who you've recently played with, your clan, and if you blocked anyone, they'll appear up here. If you ever want to unblock anyone, you simply just type then right click and unblock, but I haven't blocked anyone. So if you want to add a friend, invite my name here, type the name in, submit. If you want to accept all your friend requests, you click this button. If you want to decline them all, click this button. These are just mass things here. This is a clan. This is your clan part. If you're in a clan, which is free to make, you can have 999 members each. You can invite people to the clan. You can search people in the clan, like so. I can search for whoever. And this goes to your clan page. Your clan page is something that's based on the website, I believe. I've never actually clicked it before. It's something that hasn't really affected me. Right. Now, if you come down back here again, now that we've sorted out this, now we've sorted that out, your mastery level is how many gods you've got to mastery rank 1. Masteries, if we go over to the gods page, are these little icons here. Now, if you look, we'll go to worshipper details. Anyone who you get 50 worshippers with are classed as mastered, so you can use them in ranked. You can buy the gold skin if they have one. Gold skins are something that every single god gets, just a slight delay. For example, here you've got Agni's gold skin. Agni's a mage, and it's a gold skin with blue. And when you get to god rank 10, which is when you get, I believe, 1500 or something worshippers, you can automatically use this. This is unlocked. Golden skins cost 15,000 favour or 400 gems. Right, whenever you come, first of all, before we go into any other detail, when you complete a game, you will get favour. If you win or lose, it doesn't matter. Favour is like, if you played League of Legends, it is the influence points. If you played Hornet, was the silver coins. Basically, every time you play a game, you'll get a certain amount of favour and some goodwill. Goodwill is basically, if you don't leave a game, you'll get extra favour at the end. It's not much, but it's sort of an incentive to stay in the game. I think they're going to do more with goodwill later, so I'll update the video with that when that happens. And gems are the RP similar to RP in LoL or golden coins in Heroes of New Earth. You have to buy them with real money. You can buy them from the store, or you can redeem a promotion code for them, but you get them off of Amazon. If you're not in the US, so I don't believe they sell them to anyone outside the US. Even though if you do buy them on the US website, if you manage to actually get the code, they will work on your account no matter what. You can only have, I believe, up to 2 800 gem codes redeemed on your account, and then you're not allowed anymore. Purchase gems comes up here. It's a little mini window where you can buy the gems. Right, you can't see it here because I've bought it, but for £20, I believe, or £25, you can buy something called the God Pack. The God Pack gives you every single god in the game that will ever be released. So when that new god comes out, instead of having to save up, I believe, it's a stupid amount of favour, you can just play him straight away. I wouldn't recommend that. I'd recommend looking at videos. I'd recommend looking at guides, trying practices and stuff. But you can whenever you want to play someone, you don't have to save up for them. You don't have to rent them. Renting is where you can't afford to buy the god, but you pay 150 favour and you can play them for a game. If someone leaves the lobby, your favour is refunded and it goes back again. So favours and gems are the currency. Now, mastery level, the higher mastery level you are, the people will generally judge you on that. If you got two legendary characters, like if you got legendary Athena, for example, and legendary Bakasura, you will only have 2. It only counts for one, like your first level of the god. So now you can see I've got 39. So if we go here, which is where you can see everything, you can go down. These are all the ones you've mastered. Anything past below 50 isn't mastered. As soon as you get past 50, you can use them in ranked, etc. Like I already said. So yeah. Right. One more thing I need to explain is the character builder. The character builder is something that you can theory craft with. You can look if you go up here. It shows you the god's maximum of whatever you've bought. Like it shows you can theory craft. You can remove add items, change items, etc. So you can go into the recommended or your items and get them without having to search through all the stuff. Right, these 4 buttons up here are the 4 normal game modes. This one is a match of the day, so every day this changes. So, but if you click these, it'll put you into the queue straight away. You can simply leave the queue if you want to join another one. We're going to go into a practice for a second, because I can explain a slight bit more there. Usually there'll be accept on the left and decline on the right. If you decline at this point, no goodwill loss will happen or anything. It will all just simply be I'll just simply go. If you press accept, then if you leave after this part, you will go, like, you will be removed. Right, something I forgot to mention, level 30 is the maximum level you can get, and if you do, this is your experience bar. You have to be, I believe, level 30 to join, 30 with 14 or 15 mastery ranks to join Conquest League. You have to be level 15 to join Joust 3v3. So if you get as you go along, I'd suggest getting up to 15 masteries and learn to play a few gods from each role if you ever want to do the ranked mode. Right, I'm going to play range because this shows a lot more about what I'm talking about, so I'll pick Zeus. Right, if you notice here it says the type role, the pros higher melee damage. The difficulty is based not on actually how people think, but the mechanics. The mechanics, like Freya is quite easy to use, but her mechanics can be quite difficult for a new player because of her ability to combine her abilities to make a really strong nuke. Right, so now we're in game. If you notice here, 1 second, just change the settings a second on the key bindings so I can bring my mouse out so I can stop. Right, so left alt. Right, so if you notice here, right, this is the health bar, and so is here. This will go down the same rate as that. You don't have 2 separate health bars, same mana bars. If I use an ability now, mana bar will go down. If you leave base without items, it does say that. Right, so here we are. If you notice here, this is your basic attack damage. Your basic attack damage can be seen on your stat level. Your stats, your magical power or physical power, this will change depending on what you are. Your physical protection or armor, which is against physical gods, of course. Magical protection is 30 and it goes up by 0.8 or 0.9 every level. You finish at 48 magical power protection. If you don't buy any more, you'll always have that at level 20, 48. Movement speed or ground speed, this can be changed by abilities like Aegis Shield and your attack speed. Now some gods like Zeus have an attack progression. So I believe Zeus is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So it takes him 1 second, 1 normal attack to do that, one part of his attack speed to do that one and that one. But then the next 3 abilities go a little bit quicker. The reason for this is because it's generally on assassins or hunters or whatever, where you need to actually. With Zeus, your passive is something that's very important due to the fact that you get increased damage chance. Some abilities can stop quicken your auto attacks up. Like for example, if you use the shield, so 1, 2 instead of having to wait 3. Like that. And if you notice here, right, I'm using a level up. This is a random level guide. I level up 1 up because I believe it increases cooldown, which is something I need to do. Right, so if you notice here, my attacks are going a lot quicker. And this little blue, I don't know if you can see it here. The blue, this over here is the targeter. This blue, which they're changing next time for people who need to. This is where you can. This is whereabouts you're attacking. Your range on this, if I bring up the ranges now, settings, if I go to controls and I get the ruler out, so this shows us there. All ranged gods, I don't know if you can see at the end here. This is how far your attacks will go. Some abilities can go longer, like you can, and AoEs have half a radius more. By that I mean, if I use this ability, I can get this ability 55 feet, which in game, and it's I believe a 35 radius ability. So I will get about 75 if I use it. 75 like range damage attack. Right, now if we go back to this normal casting, 1 minute, settings. If we bring up normal casting, I can press 1 now. I don't know if you noticed, like if I just click 1, this doesn't go anywhere now. If I then left click, it fires it. Right, so that's there. So this is the one that is set to by default because it's a lot easier to thing. Like you don't have to rush your attacks on whenever you're ready, etc. You can just go up, throw it, miss rabbit. Whenever you're small little notice, if you're targeting an enemy god, if you're in range of auto attacks, they'll glow slightly red. I don't know if you can see that there. Now that he's in auto attack range, he goes red. Whenever he's not, he goes normal. Right, now I'll show you the other abilities, something that you should get used to if you like playing certain gods. Quick casting is, if you right click any of your any type of casting, it'll stop except for instant casting, which already goes off when you click it. Right, this is here, if I hold 1 now, this is me holding 1, it doesn't go off, but as soon as I release 1, it goes. Now you can right click to stop that. It's very, that's a very useful thing to remember because you don't always want to actually activate your abilities. Well, let's look at instant casting. Instant casting's a harder one. Basically, there's no target or anything, you just go up, straight up, there we are. There's no warning that it's going to fire, it's just whenever you click it, it goes off. So that's something that you should keep, like, remember. So let's put it back to the normal settings, which is quick casting for me. The arrows here, if you notice, you can change this here, this little targeter to what you need it to be. High contrast, arrow, if you notice the high contrast one here. I think this is more for the ruler though, like if you notice here, you've got a ruler and arrow. Like the arrow is different, like the ruler shows you your ranges for when you're getting used to it. So you change that. Right, now let's go back to the base a second. I'll go and quickly finish this up by talking about the items. Items, this is your item thing. This is your shop. You can press I to bring it up and press escape to let it go. So if you press I, you come up with this. If you're new, recommended here. I always recommend that you take auto buy off, which you can do before the game, or you can do it if auto buy's on by clicking the stopping auto buy here, and the auto skill up might be useful, but when you get bored of it, you can turn it off. K brings up the list, so if you ever need, like, this shows you all your abilities, damage, and rankings there. It shows you progressions, so and your damage. So my basic attacks now do 35 plus 1.5 per level, so 35 plus 8 plus 20% of my magical power, but I don't have any. So if you notice, if you watch here, when I go and buy a Vampiric Shroud, I get 20, which gives me 20%, 20% of that, which is 4, so I get 4 extra basic attack power. Right, so basically, recommended and popular items, what you'll buy. You can, there's branches on different things, and if you look very carefully you can see why. For example, the shoes are probably the hardest thing right now to branch off to. Basically with shoes, if you're a tank, you go the right one, which is guard boots, into reinforced or Midas. If you want to go mage or physical, you'll go to the left side and then go penetration or cooldown reduction. So let's get just some random items. There we are. So if we go into lane now, I'll show you this is how laning works. Basically, instead of emphasizing on last hitting, if you damage any of the if you damage any minion, or even if the minion just dies anywhere near you, you'll get a little bit of gold for it, and you'll apply you'll get your you'll get some stacks for whatever you build, etc. So if it goes in right, basically if you like here, you'll get constant gold flow, 25 gold plus 25 gold plus 25 gold, etc. Now if they go to this tower now, if they get hit by your tower once, or you get your creatures get hit, your minions get hit by their tower once, that is now worth no gold. This is to stop people in what's known as solo lane, because they used to be really beefy and they just stand there doing nothing under the tower. So basically, the best strategy is to avoid getting to try and push. Some people like Zeus are really bad at pushing early on, but generally get better at it late game. So now we go back. Oh wow, aggressive ramble. So yeah, now if we look a little bit up at the around before we go, we've got these are the golds. Like if you split this down the middle, these are the stats on both sides. So down here this is the timer, how long the game's gone on for. To the left, like the two closest things towards it, are the deaths. So I've got are the kills. I've got 0 kills. They have 1 kill because they just killed me. How many towers we've got up is next. We've both got 1 tower left, but mine's almost gone if you notice here. Phoenixes left, which are these, which I'll show you in a second. Now these have certain benefits. If you come over here now, this is a Phoenix. It does moderate damage. The damage is the damage that it does is increased over time, as with all towers. Any tower in the game will stack up damage more. So if you are really tanky, it doesn't matter. You will still get, you'll still be able to be damaged by it later on, because it does have penetration every single attack. It generally takes quite a bit of, quite a few attempts to try and to kill the tower. So as you can see now, my tower's gone. So this has gone to 0 because I have no towers left. So if you notice now, the gold difference, because he's taken a tower and killed me, this is his gold and this is my gold. Like, this is the team's gold. Blue is yours, red is the enemy's. They have about 1,300 on gold on top of me. And if you are in colorblind mode, which I'll just quickly put on now, if you can see here, the yellow is the enemy instead of the red. So I'll keep this in colorblind mode for rest. In fact, no, I'll turn it off because it's a very nice mode, except it's something that puts me off whenever I'm trying to give videos. So as you can see here, we've got the character portraits, and these part here will fill up when you've got more than one god on each team. Right, these are minions. These are monsters. Right, these are where junglers go. Like, this isn't a very good thing to jungle, so I'll bring out another jungling. I'll bring out a guide that actually features jungling mostly. This is just a little introduction. This is where junglers are. If you've got a jungler, they'll be going around killing the camps which have got buffs, and etc., so that they can. The buffs that they've got are very. Oh no, the buffs they've got are very, very powerful. You've got, from here, mana buff and cooldown reduction buff, which gives you quite a high amount of mana regen, and it gives you 10% cooldown reduction. This buff here gives you 10% I believe 10 or 20% extra magical and physical power. This one gives you quite a high amount of attack speed. This orange one here. So if I take this one, so just keep going right there. Now if you notice, my movement speed's gone up, my attack speed's gone up, and when I'm in my attack progression, it's quicker, it's more fluent. So that's all for this one. This tutorial. I'm gonna have a few more tutorials up in the next few days based on simple like strategies and stuff, because I believe that they're very important. So I hope you enjoyed it. I think that's about it really. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy Smite if you're new to it, and have a nice day.